Hey guys, welcome to a brand new LP that I'm starting. I'm Llandros, and for those of you this is your first time to ever be to my channel or to join me on an LP, a big welcome to you. Thank you for trying out a LP that I'm going to do. It's a challenge. And for those of you who've been with me since I've been doing LPs or have been joining me as I've been doing them, welcome back, and I hope you're ready. It's going to be a fun one. This one I'm really looking forward to. Okay. Having said that, I am Llandros. I make LPs on The Sims 3. Right now, I've got quite a few LPs going, and this brand new LP, along with a few other ones that I'm starting, in no way affects any of the other LPs. They are still continuing, they're still going, and if you haven't checked out, there's a new schedule listed on my front YouTube page. You can actually see what the schedule is as far as when they're going to be updated and when you can expect the episodes of whichever series you're following. And if you're not following any of them, maybe you want to check a few of them out. If you do, let me forewarn you, for those of you new to the channel, I was new to LPs back in around September of 2012, and I didn't know what I was doing, so my recording settings were not quite as good as they should have been. My microphone wasn't quite as good. I kind of figured it out as I went along, so they do improve quality-wise as far as video and audio. As far as me, I'm still as crazy from the beginning all the way to the end, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, if you are giving them a try, that's just one little forewarning there. Alright, so now for this LP, we are actually going into a custom world. Now I know some of you are probably a little bit apprehensive of going into custom worlds, and if you are, that's fine. But this is one that Sweet Nightingale, who is a really good friend of mine, she actually started this LP, and I was fascinated by it. I just could not stop watching. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I had to download it, and I had to start trying it on my own. It is a absolute blast, and that's why I thought this is one I could actually see doing. And I was kind of bummed because I really wanted to record it. I wanted to go back and see what I did, maybe later on down the road. And so I talked to her about it. We sat down, we actually were talking back and forth through the computer, and I told her that I was so tempted I wanted to do my own challenge of it, and she gave me the go-ahead. She said go for it, and that she would love to see another take on it, and it was always good to have a different perspective. So with her blessing, I decided to go ahead, and I'm going to start one that's kind of a complement to hers, so that way you can kind of get the two different versions. So anyway, that's why I'm doing it. It's not that I'm copying, it's just that I could not resist. I couldn't help it. So anyway, it's going to be the Isle of Midnight Sun Challenge. Now the Isle of the Midnight Sun Challenge is really hysterical because you're actually stranded on an island, and it's a tiny island. You have to basically survive any way you know how, and that's exactly what we're going to do. The whole thing is you're going to have a lot that's only a 10 by 10 lot, and that's all you get. There are no jobs, there's nothing you can do, there's no town, so essentially you're living off the land, and you're living off very little. So I'm going to go ahead, and normally I don't do the loading screen, but I'm going to do it for you guys this time just because I think you're going to get a kick out of this. I'm sorry, you load this town up, and it's just this instant, and this is all you got, just this little bitty dot. And when I first loaded this up, the first time I actually was going to try this, I laughed so hard I couldn't help it. It's hysterical to me. This is all you're living in. There is nothing else around, nothing but water. So anyway, this is our place that we're going to be living. Now, Sweet Nightingale is doing this same challenge, and she started with her character Lynette. So she started with the female. I'm going to start with the male, and that's just something I figured it would give us something different. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go into Create a Sim, and we're going to fix him up in just a moment. But to go ahead and give you a forewarning, Sweet Nightingale is very, very sweet. She lives up to that name to her Sims because she gave a lot. You're going to find that I'm not as sweet. And my poor guy is going to suffer. And when I say suffer, I do mean he's going to suffer. So having said that, don't expect me to give a lot of nice amenities to my sim in the beginning. But we're going to go ahead and get started with creating a sim in just a second. Okay, now there's no need for me to actually show you the town. So let's go ahead and just jump right into create a sim. Now, as I said, I have every stuff pack, I have every expansion pack, and I have an enormous amount of stored content, which makes my create a sim run a little bit slower. I've already done some of the easy work because I already created the sim, so I'm just going to go in here and pull him up, and of course he should be right over here in the ones already done, and it's this guy right here. But I actually have got to change a few things on him, of course, his name and everything, and I got to change a little bit. Okay, and you're going to find out I love that 70s, 80s, and 90s stuff. So we're going to go ahead and change Brandon. Change his name to Brandon, and his last name is Shepherd. And let's see if I can spell Shepherd. Okay, now he's not going to be a witch. I know Sweet Nightingale is doing a witch, but my guy is going to be a human. He's going to have to do the best he can do, but I am going to give him a little bit of an advantage with a little bit of skin, a little bit of color for his tan. And I normally start them off pretty thin because once they start working out, they bulk up. But I also give them the nice genetic advantage of being pretty well cut, so they're fine with that. As far as his hair, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it the way it is. His looks are fine. I'm going to go ahead and just double check on clothing because I think everything is where I wanted it. This is his everyday. I love this shirt. I really do. It came with the 70s, 80s, and 90s pack. So if you don't have it, I find it hysterical stuff. I use it all the time. I try to sneak it in any way I can, and people aren't really yelling at me yet. He's never going to probably be in the formal wear, but we're going with 70 stuff as well. He will be going and doing some traveling eventually, so he will do it that time. As far as his sleepwear, this is from Diesel, and I like that one. I do like the Diesel stuff pack, but some of the clothes looks kind of funny when I'm in Create a Sim, and then it looks just fine when we're actually in the game. All right, now, some of you are going to say, but why doesn't he have a shirt? Yes, Sarah, I'm talking to you. Anyway, the reason he doesn't have a shirt in this LP, of course, when I work out, I don't wear a shirt either. I just think it's constraining, and I don't like it. But for him, for the fact that he's on a stranded island all by himself, and it's going to be miserable, it kind of makes sense. He wouldn't have a whole lot of clothing. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave him without a shirt. So just give me that one. I am getting rid of this thing. I don't know why I popped that in there. I don't know. And I am going to change his trunks because I didn't like these when I did it. This is actually one that came with Sunlit Tides, which wouldn't be bad. I could change up the color, but I'm going to give him something a little different. I love these army ones, but I'm using that for somebody else. These are kind of my go-to ones that I use all the time, and there's really not too many. Unless I go into create a style, I might go with this one because I never use the yellow. So we'll do that. And of course for his outerwear, no telling what we're going to get. Now I did not set my timer, so I need to stop for just a minute, and I can do it while I'm talking. Trust me, I have got talent. I'm going to go ahead and set this. I have no idea how close I am, but this is good. All right, I like this. Everything is fine. I like those shoes, but not with this. So if you've watched my LPs for any length of time, you're going to find that I go for certain things. These baggy pants, absolutely, and I do not apologize because I love them. But I always go for these shoes right here. They're from the base game, so if you want these shoes, you probably already have them because you've got the base game. If you actually have the game. All right. So anyway, those are his clothing options, and I'm pretty happy with what we got there. But his personality, we're going to have to change quite a bit. I'm going to change all of this real quick. Wait a minute. No, it wasn't. Adventurous was fine. And hang on, let me go ahead and close out of that. Adventurous, brave, loves the outdoors, lucky, and natural cook. The only thing I'm going to change is brave. And the reason I'm going to change brave is because I would normally use that if I was going to go for World Adventures because he would need it. But here, one of the things he's going to have to rely on is fishing. And so to be an angler might be a really good thing for him. So we're going to go ahead and do that. As far as a natural cook, we're not going to have a whole lot of money, and I don't need him burning down the kitchen, so that's going to give him another advantage. Loving the outdoors will give him the advantage of staying outside, even in the hot and cold weather. Being lucky, that's going to help, and adventurous, I can get rid of that one because that one, it only allows us to go back sooner, and I don't need that one. So athletic would be good. But I'm trying to think of something else that might help him a little bit better, a little bit more. And let's see. This is so hard because you know you're stuck with it once you do this. I could make him handy, but he's going to learn that skill pretty much once he gets into the game and starts breaking things because he'll break them pretty quick. As far as this is what I want, a loner. He needs this skill completely because he's going to be alone. So I think with these right here, I'm pretty comfortable with that. I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm going to go ahead and accept it. Now, as far as his options here, he wants to, I don't want the aquarium. This is the one I want, and it's so fortunate that it came up second. It's the culinary librarian, And the reason I want it is because you level up quickly in that one, and it's pretty simple to do. As far as the food, he's got spaghetti, classical, and blue, which is fine with me.
Chabo.
I can live with that for his voice, and I always have to share something that's mine with him. So I'm going to just give him Capricorn because that's me. All right, so there we go. So here we've got Brandon. Brandon's ready. In this challenge, you start with one sim, and you need to make sure that that sim is, of course, a young adult. That's all you got. And we're going to go ahead and jump into the game, and you're going to see what we're dealing with. Now, before we actually get started, you're going to notice that there is nowhere else. There is no Weatherstone that's going to come up, even if you have Seasons in Supernatural, because there's no community lots. You have nothing. This is our only piece of property. It's costing us $13,500, which is going to leave us with very little money. We are going to be down to $3,000. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the game, but I'm going to stop it pretty quick. And normally I don't like to pause that much, but I am going to pause quite a bit here in the beginning just so I can kind of show you what we're dealing with. I also want to kind of set you up on what the ground rules are and what I'm going to be doing. Okay, this is our island. This is what we got. And as you can see, there is nothing at all. So this poor guy is by himself. Now the rules of the game are pretty simple. It just means you've got to keep this guy alive. You can build only on this lot, and he has to actually have 5 generations. The only way he can meet a spouse is he will be able to travel to France, China, or Egypt. He can only go once in his lifetime, and he can bring somebody back, and then each person in his household can make those same 3 trips. However, I'm going to be making a few changes on this because I'm going to make my challenge a little bit harder. So, you're going to notice I'm going to be a little bit stricter on the rules. So that's part of it. Now, we've got to go into this just like the base game. Like the Legacy Challenge. He is not going to have a job, and there's nowhere for him to get a job. Even if he goes into the other countries, my character is not allowed to have a job. He's going to have to live completely on his own, by his own means. And he's got plenty of time, so I'm going to cancel out of any wishes like that. What we need to do is go ahead and start spending a little bit of money. We don't have a whole lot, and we're going to go down to just about nothing, but we've got to do it. So to get the basics, the first thing we need to do is we just need to build a wall. And when I say a wall, I do mean just one wall. So I'm going to go over here, and I think I'm going to put it on this side. I believe this is where I wanted it. Okay. And I have to be very careful because I will lose my money really quickly. Alright, as far as the basics, he needs a toilet, and we're going to go with the cheapest thing that will do. And you know it's going to break a million times. But he doesn't care. He doesn't need privacy because there's nobody to bother him. As far as the rest of it, I don't need any of this other stuff. I don't need anything except a shower. And I'm going to give him the outdoor shower. So that will be easy. The only reason I'm giving him the outdoor shower is because, let's face it, he is outdoors, but it's the cheapest. It's the cheapest of all of them, and also it's actually the one that works the quickest. So as far as the bedroom, this poor guy is only getting a sleeping bag. So if you have generations, you have a sleeping bag, and that's all he's going to get for his bedroom completely. As far as living room, you get nothing. Now you can get robbed because I started this game up, and a burglar did spawn on the island, and he stole something from us, and it just ticked me off like you wouldn't believe. But we're going to risk it for right now. So I'm going to go ahead and say we'll deal with it. As far as the kitchen, we did need a couple of things here. Actually, we just need one thing. We are going to get a refrigerator, and I want to get the cheapest, whatever we'll get by, it doesn't really matter. Cheapest refrigerator we can get, and I'm going to put it right up against the back of this wall. Okay. If I can line it up. Now the one thing about it before we go any further, if you leave the wall like that, he's going to get a horrible moodlet. So I'm going to go in here and find just something that's free. This pattern right here is free that we can actually put on the wall. Make sure it goes to both sides. That way he will not get any kind of negative moodlets. Alright, so we've got some way for him to get food. All he can do is actually get quick meals. He can't actually cook anything, and so he doesn't need the fire alarm or any of that mess. So all this will change eventually, but right now that's really all he has to have. Now this is where we actually start to splurge, and it gets a little crazy. I'm going to give him this Kirby the Frog desk. It's the cheapest desk you can get, and I'm going to put it right there, and I'm going to get him the cheapest chair that I can find, and I believe it is, this one is 50. Let me go over here and make sure that looking in the dining room they have chairs as well. This one is 40. Okay, so I want to go with the cheapest one that will actually do. Okay. As you can see, our money is dwindling quickly. We've got about $1,700 left, or almost 1,800, and I'm about to blow all of it, and you're probably going to scream at me, but you kind of have to do it. So he's going to get a computer, and there's a very important reason why you need a computer. He's got the cheapest one that he can get, and I'm giving him a multi-tab. I know, you're probably saying, why? But he really does need that. So he's going to have that, and as far as the rest of it, let me just make sure. I don't think there's anything else that he needs. I think everything else he's good. So he's got about $225 left. I'm trying to think. He gets up, he goes to the bathroom, he's got a chair to sit at to eat because he's going to have cereal, he can take a shower, he can sleep because he's got a sleeping bag. He does have a computer, he's got a multi-tab to learn things, so I think he's good to go. Alright, now the challenge of course of this is to keep him alive and to build up money when there's no job whatsoever. And it is going to be a challenge, but let's go ahead and get him started. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get him to go over to this register real quick. We're going to go in here, and I do have a mod that's going to help us. And you got to do this quickly, so let me go ahead and pause because I know I hate pausing. We've got to go ahead and set it up so that there are no tourists that will spawn on the island. And we need to set up our animal controls so that we get 0 deer. We need to get 0 raccoons. Otherwise, these things will drive you nuts. We don't need any cats. Okay, we don't need any dogs. I do not need a unicorn. And I do not need any wild horses. Now, he cannot talk to anybody. He has to be stranded. He has to be totally isolated. There's no way to get rid of the Showtime performers, which kind of stinks, but that's part of it. All right, you're going to go over here and you're going to listen to, I'm going to have you listen to, what was I going to listen to? Listen to fishing, because you're going to do that first. Now in my game, like I said, I am being a little bit stricter than Sweet Nightingale. I'm not building him any houses. There are no money cheats. I am not allowed to give him any money. He is not allowed to buy anything that would give him instant money or free money. So anything like the casino stuff, the blackjack table or the slot machine, that is completely off limits. So he cannot do that. Now that's my rule on it. All that stuff did not exist when they first made the challenge, but I just feel like, to me, that's a cheat for me. Also, buy debug is completely off limits. No way to go into it. I did buy the computer. Yeah, you could turn around and sell it for money, but once you buy it, I'm keeping it. I'm not selling it unless I'm replacing it. So we got this computer, we're stuck with it. We spent the 800, well, we just spent the 800, so that's it. Like I said, I'm not as friendly, I'm not as nice to my sim, but he'll do okay. He'll be fine. We're going to continue on. As far as other money cheats, well, this is not a cheat, but when they get enough lifetime reward points, they can actually get the inheritance reward or the genie lamp or something like that. Yeah, the fish aren't biting, but that's okay. We're just learning the skill. But my sim is not allowed to use inheritance. He's not allowed to use the genie. Nothing like that that's going to give him instant money. Nothing at all. So it's basically whatever happens, whatever spawns on this island, whatever fish he can sell, whatever he can do, that's all he gets. Now, of course, we already had the mailman or the paperboy come, and I didn't turn that off. I didn't actually have him call and cancel it, which I need to have him do that because he needs to start his tabcast again. So we're going to go ahead and, oh wait, he's still listening to it for 7 more minutes. That's all right. Also, another thing, I know this mailbox is sparkling. And it's very tempting to come over here and get the gifts and then turn around, sell them, and get the cash. That's a money cheat for me, so I cannot do it. So this guy, like I said, it's going to be pretty much, I got to get used to all these things because, let's see, he wants to call for services. That's right. So yeah, he cannot use that. So guys, if you send me any gifts, I'm not going to open them up in this LP. I'll open them up in any of the others, but I cannot open them up here because he is not allowed to use that as a cheat. So, yeah, I told you, I'm being strict. I'm hard on my guy. I like my guy, but he's going to actually have to earn it. And so that's why I'm hoping that you'll see that mine's a little bit different, but yet it's still kind of the same. So anyway, got to keep an eye on this guy's needs. And the one thing I want to do is I want to get rid of this out of his inventory. So we can put the we can put the diploma on that wall right there. Now hopefully he's going to start catching some fish pretty soon, and we'll make something. He won't make a whole lot of money, And you're going to notice that I got to keep an eye on his little moodlets here, because eventually he's going to get the one that says he's getting warm. This place is called Isle of the Midnight Sun because the sun shines pretty much the entire day. You get maybe just a brief dimming of the sun, but it doesn't ever go down. It's constant sunlight. So, you know, the funny thing is you get disoriented after a while. You start to lose track of your days and nights. So we got an alley catfish, and we can actually start using that as bait. But he doesn't have that option yet, I don't believe. I don't think he can start using bait for a while. Oh, wait, yeah, he can. Let's see, can he? Okay, he can use fruits and vegetables, but he doesn't have those. But I'm going to show you how he's going to get some, which is pretty good. Now, in the refrigerator, you normally have something in there. So he does have a few things. So he's got tomato, he's got some lemon, he's got some cheese, he's got all these things right here that we could actually use and we can cook with. But he does have some food that he can actually start using to plant. But right now, I'm not going to really worry too much about it because he's low-level fisher and he's a low-level fisherman, and he's not going to get a whole lot. But what he gets, we're going to sell. And eventually we'll start working on choosing the right bait to make more money. He cannot register to get a job because there's no city hall here. And I'm not allowing him to I'm not even going to put one down. I know Sweet Nightingale was talking about putting one down in either one of the travel countries or traveling to a world that actually has it and giving her Sim a job. Mine does not get that option. He has no job, and he will never have a job, and nobody in his entire household will ever be able to work. So, yeah, that's the whole point. You're stranded on an island. You have nothing, so that's what you're going to get. You got to watch this place because it does spawn some things every once in a while. It'll cycle around every once in a while, and you'll get some small animals or maybe some rocks or something, but it takes a while. Is that something right there? No. You just got to keep an eye on it. But he's doing okay. He's catching some alley fish, which isn't worth a whole lot of money. If you were to actually try to sell these right now, it's $39. So as you can see, it's going to take him a while to make some money. Now I've given my Sim a couple other restrictions. Okay, he's getting hot, but what I need to do is go ahead and stop him for a minute. Since he's done with that tab cast of fishing, I'm going to let him do another one. And let's see, where are the fish jumping the most? They're jumping right over here. So let's go ahead and jump over here and try fishing on this side for a little while. Now, of course, this is a Showtime singer right here, and the only way to get rid of her, because you cannot turn it off, I got to go in here and I got to turn on my testing cheats, which I hate doing this, but it's the only way to get rid of him. And he can't talk to anybody, so it's not really a cheat because you've got to do this in order to do the game. Okay, testing cheats enabled true. If you don't know how to do this, it's very simple. And then you just want to shift, click, object, delete it. And he's gone. Now, I'm going to leave the cheats on because we're going to get one to pop up every once in a while. The one nice thing, though, is when you see them pop up, start looking around the ground because you might find something has spawned or something is about to start spawning. Normally, it's a small animal, like a beetle or something else, but so far I don't see anything that has come up yet. But I'm going to keep an eye on it. Look at him go. Now, of course, you'll notice that he lost that getting warm moodlet. So, yeah, we could have gotten really unlucky and we could have come in on a really bad thunderstorm and had him getting struck by lightning. But so far, we're okay. You want to go fishing before 6 a.m.? I don't think you can actually do that here because time doesn't really have much of a meaning. But he does want to learn the cooking skill. You want to catch a great alley catfish. We can't join that career. That's out of the limits. And you want to learn gardening. All these things I think I can do except maybe that one because I tried it before and it just never seemed to actually work. I think you have to start and stop at a certain time, and I'll just have to try that. See, look at this guy. Buddy, is he paparazzi? Oh, I didn't turn the paparazzi off? Delete him. All right, hang on a minute. I can get rid of that. That's probably my mistake right there because there is a paparazzi right here. And allow him. Yeah, I did not turn that off. Okay, and while I'm in here, let me just do it one more time. Guys, please forgive me. I know you probably hate me going into all these things. Allow immigration. That means somebody moving in. We're not going to have anybody immigrating. Allowing tourists. I said no. Yeah, there's no way to turn off the Showtime people. So I think that's all I need to turn off, if I'm not mistaken. I hope so. I hope that's all I can do. I mean, I wish there was a way to turn them off, but apparently It just wasn't in there. It wasn't a part of the original programming when he did that. Alright, now this guy is going to be doing this for quite some time, so it does get to see... Why did we get a horse? I'm not supposed to have a horse. I swear I turned him off. I promise I did. And I don't even have the horses turned on. Let me go ahead and make sure. Animal control. Horses were turned off. I don't have it. They shouldn't be here. So sometimes this mod, it may be because we just had an update. So there's a brand new patch, and register may not be completely working the way it should. I'm hoping that it will, but if it happens that I have to just keep deleting, it may be that it has to wait till I close out or save the game and then come back in. That may be the problem. Alright, so we just caught a new type of fish. He caught the normal tragic clownfish. And as you can see, we're actually catching a few things. We could start using them as bait. Let's see. Nope, we have to actually use the fruits and vegetables, which would be fine. I just don't want to lose all of our cheese, but actually let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead, because he needs to start his new tabcast anyway. He wants to learn the gardening skills, so to get that wish out of there, let's go ahead and listen to gardening. And then I'm going to open up this, and I'm going to take the cheese. I just want one. And I'm going to have him use cheese, which is kind of funny. Go ahead and choose your bait. You're going to use cheese. And let's see what we can get. And maybe we'll get some better stuff. Okay, what was this one? You can't take a class. There's no classes here. Alright, now I've also made another restriction on this that did not come with the original challenge. The challenge says that he can travel 3 times. He can go to China 1 time only. He can go to France, and then he can go to Egypt. But he can never go back to them. But I've made one change to that. I've limited it to, yes, he can still go to those 3 places. However, he can only go to one place as a young adult, the other place as an adult, and the third and final place he cannot go until he becomes an elder. So I think that's going to make it a little bit more difficult, and it's also going to keep us working pretty hard, because when you go over to the countries, you can start making money by collecting things and whatnot. But I think this will be a little bit more of a challenge, so that we can see if we can make it and get through it and build up as much as we can build. Now he's got to have 5. We have to have 5 generations, so it's going to be hard. But this first generation will be the most difficult. And of course, building this house is going to be hysterical. Now I haven't even looked at his needs, but he looks like he's fine. You can notice his social is not going down so bad because he does have that loner trait. I strongly recommend, if you're going to play this challenge, do the loner trait. You're going to need it. The other thing about it is, once we start getting all of his other household members, we are not allowed to choose any traits whatsoever. You can only choose for this guy. But for all the other people that are coming, you got to do it randomized. So whatever we get, we get. And if it's something that doesn't work for us, oh well, that's all we can do. Let's see, what did he do? Okay, he learned the gardening skill. Okay, do we have another horse? No, that must be from earlier. All right, he wants to prepare a meal. Well, there's no way to prepare one, so I'm not going to worry about it. And you can't do these things. So all these opportunities or wishes that come up, most of them we have to cancel out of, which is okay. All right, tell you what, stop for a minute, buddy, because I want you to keep listening. While you're out here doing this, you are going to be leveling up and doing whatever you can do. Okay, yeah, I mean, if I would have had, let's see, did I have him? I think I had him using the bait. Let me just make sure. Oh, he's got apple seed. He's got all this stuff. I think he's out of his cheese. So why don't we go ahead and go back into the refrigerator and get some more? So I think he was doing okay with that. Let's go ahead and use another piece of cheese. And I'm going to just go ahead and have 2. That way we can do it. Choose your bait. Use your cheese. Yeah, I didn't read it. You'll notice sometimes I get out of there really quickly and I don't read it all. Alright, so he learned the gardening skill. He caught a very nice jellyfish worth 10. He lost his last bit of cheese bait. Okay. So yeah, he's making a little bit. He's getting a little bit, but he's not going to make a whole lot of money until he starts catching some of the big fish. And eventually we will start learning how to actually how to catch the bigger ones, and then it'll do much more. Plus we're going to start learning other things. We're going to start growing some things on a small garden. I don't want to make a big garden at this point because, you know, the weather changes, and you do get the weather effects here. And what's going to happen is the plants will go dormant. Unless, of course, I build the greenhouse over it. But we don't have a whole lot of room. Our place is pretty small. So I really can't do a whole lot in that respect. Alright, now I could start selling some of this fish. but I'm kind of holding on to see if he gets, yeah, he lost his last bit of cheese. Okay, he just caught a new type of fish, an outstanding anchovy. He's up to level 5, so now he can catch it using live bait. So now, there you go. That's what I was waiting on. And you can see that we're actually going to move pretty quickly. So now we're going to actually start using, let's use the alley catfish. And we'll see if we get anything better. And you never know. He might get some good stuff. He's getting a little hungry, but he's not so bad so far. And his tap cast, I think he's on, was that level 5? So yeah, he's actually going to be, he's going to level this up pretty quickly. Well, when you don't have a whole lot of other things to do in the day, you know, it's pretty easy to level up fast. All right, I'm going to go ahead and have him have some cereal. You'll see where he gets to actually sit and eat. There's not much. He might go sit on the toilet. And then he's going to go ahead and do this fishing again. He's going to go ahead. See, they're still jumping over here. Actually, let's just continue using the alley catfish. But yeah, it's very similar. It's very reminiscent of the Legacy Challenge, but yet there's so many differences. In the Legacy Challenge, you get the biggest lot, and you have a little bit of money, but you can go work and you can do all these things, and you can make a ton. This one, you don't have anything. You can't run around town collecting wildflowers. There's nothing. You're basically stuck. You've got to start fishing. You got to do that, or you got to start gardening. And like I said, I really don't want to garden much because I want to wait until we can afford planters so we can put them in the house. Now there's certain things like the apple trees and all that we can't do. Now he doesn't have a sink, so the only thing I'm going to be able to do, and I know you may consider this to be a cheat, I don't know, but I mean technically if he saw a garbage can there, he would throw it away. So I'm going to throw the thing away for him, which means I have to be a little bit more interactive to keep cleaning up all the dishes from him. But eventually he will get a sink and he will be able to start doing that on his own. But that's where we're at so far. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to tell you about what I have changed. I know that there's a lot of things that I was planning to do differently. But, oh, another thing. I know in the challenge, the way the wording is, it sounds like anybody in his family can do the same trips. So let's say he moves over, or he goes over to China, and he gets married, and he brings her back. Well, he can't go back to China, but she can. And so he would get the 3 trips, and she would get the 3 trips. And that's the way the rules read, because I looked at them carefully. Oh, great. Here we got Hale. He's not going to like it. Well, in my game, I'm changing that yet again. I'm making it a little bit more challenging that whoever he marries, she will not be allowed to travel. So she can come back with him to the island, but once she comes back, she cannot go anywhere else. And the only person in each generation that can actually do any traveling would be whichever one is the primary sim that we're working with. So like he is our primary guy. And whoever his heir is going to be, whatever child we decide will be the one we're going to follow, that will be the only one that's allowed to actually travel. So it limits us on all the opportunities we can go and do. So to me, I just feel like we're going to just make it a little bit more realistic as far as, you know, yeah, the whole traveling across to another world and then coming back to a stranded island doesn't really sound realistic. But, you know, we're just going to imagine that somebody, whoever this person is, washed up on shore. And, you know, that's however we have to do it. So at least that's my thought. All right, so he's making some money, but he's not making a whole lot. And we can start selling this off as soon as we're ready, but there's really nothing we have to worry about yet. There's no money bills or nothing that's due as far as money or bills, but he is getting kind of tired. You can see it's already 9 o'clock. Now, does this look like 9 o'clock to you? The first time I started playing the game, I was like, it's broken. Something's not right. Then I realized, oh, wait, that's why they call it Isle of the Midnight Sun, because there is no dates, or no, there's no nighttime. This is basically it. This is going to be as dark. Well, it'll get a little bit darker, but not much. And zombies will spawn, but they don't stay for very long. And let's see, what else is there? There's something different, something else that I was going to add, but I forgot. I don't know, I forget all the time. But yeah, hopefully, as you can see, this is something that, if you look at the way I'm playing the game compared to the way Sweet Nightingale is playing it, we are both doing it extremely differently. She's got poor little Lynette over there living pretty much in the lap of luxury, which this poor guy, I'm sure, is just as jealous can be if he knew that that was happening. But my guy, he's going to have to earn everything he gets, and hopefully he'll be able to do that, and we'll be able to keep him alive. I am keeping an eye on this because, like I said, he loves being by himself and he loves being outside. So as long as you can actually keep him out, if you get those two traits, the loner and the love the outdoors, it's a great advantage. However, the challenge, when we get to the other generations, we'll already have a house, so that won't be such a challenge to deal with. But for us right now, this would have been terrible if we didn't have those two traits. Okay, he just caught another jellyfish. Everything so far has been pretty cheap. He's up to level 6. Okay, he now has a good chance of catching some new types of fish. Alright, very good. And everything so far has not been, big money. But we're getting there. We're getting some things here and there. Yeah, it's actually, to me, when I saw this and I saw how you played this game, I thought, how in the world would you do it if you didn't cheat? So I started playing around with it, and I started doing exactly what I'm doing right here, and that's why I thought, I have got to do this. I want to record this because it's just so much fun. And I didn't get too far. I didn't. I actually just got, I think, just about 3 or 4 days in, and then I thought, no, this is too addictive. I can't do it. I'll stop doing all my other LPs. And then it hit me, maybe I could do my own LP, but I thought that I thought Sweet Nightingale would get upset. So that's why I asked, and she said, absolutely, go ahead. So, and I think it's fun because we can actually see how each other do and kind of compare notes. And you may like the way she's playing it better than I am, or you might like bits and pieces of each, and that's fine. But feel free to comment on the comparisons. I think it's hysterical. So, but I do love the fact that this guy sleeping right out in the middle of nothing with the hailstorm coming down on him, and there's nothing we can do. I can't do any kind of cheats whatsoever for him. I mean, I could, but I'm not. I am very strict on that. I do not like to cheat at all. So if I don't have to, I won't. Okay, finally something worth about $20. That's good. Okay, so he's getting some of the better stuff. He's getting excellent tuna. And of course, you've got a collection journal right here. Somewhere down here. Where is it? It's somewhere in here. Anyway, you've got a journal right here. This is your collection journal, so you can actually see what all he's done. You can go in and you can find all the different types of fish that he's caught. And so far, he hasn't done a whole lot. He's gotten some of these. But he doesn't really know too much. We don't have any of the fishing books to learn, all the different baits that you would have to have. However, I think he gets that through the fishing skill already. So if we look at this real quick in his skill journal, he doesn't really know anything yet. And I can't cheat. I can't give him those things. So I think he knows a few things just by learning it. He'll learn eventually. And some things I kind of know. I remember from different ones which one attracts which other type of fish. But he'll learn it. And if he doesn't, well, then we'll just have to deal with it however luck brings it to us. So, yeah, now you can kind of see that was about it. It is now midnight. And you can see that was all we had. Now, he did do the fishing before 6 a.m., which is good. He wants to catch a great tuna, catch 10 red herring, catch 5 types of new fish. He needs to learn the cooking skill, and he's probably dead tired. You know what? Let's go ahead and let him stop real quick. And he's going to go ahead and go to bed. I'm going to let him go to sleep now because he's done quite a bit for his first day. He's leveled up quite high on his skills. And it's going to be more of the same until he can actually start buying some things. And I don't buy it quickly. I let him suffer for a little while, but we are going to have to think about it because fall is going to be coming in now 6 days, and he's going to have some type of shelter as quickly as we can get it. Now, he won't sleep for too long, but I could cut out of this for just a minute. So let me cut out and I'll be back when he's ready to get up. You got to be kidding me. As I told you, you can get a burglar, and he's going to probably take the stupid computer. Oh, good. Just the chair. Leave there. Leave and go. Now, I could delete him. I could hit objects and delete, but I won't do that unless he doesn't leave. Or she. Vivian Sosa. There's a name for you. And unfortunately, I don't say those words sometimes. Well, sometimes I do. I just try not to. But anyway, yeah, we're very happy that you're here. Now we wish you would leave. Now, if she doesn't leave, I will have to delete her. But I won't delete her from doing what she just did because, I can't control that. I mean, I could have, but that would be cheating. But it doesn't look like she's going to steal anything else. I just don't think she's going to be able to go anywhere. So, And he can't talk to her, so that's why we've got to get rid of her pretty quick as soon as she spawns on the island. But yeah, so yes, you can get robbed in this challenge, as you just saw, and I think that's pitiful, but it is what it is, and that's all it can be. All right, he's got a bad moodlet from stuff being taken. Yeah, you go ahead and laugh. You go ahead and laugh. And I guess at this point she would have already gone and taken more stuff. She would have done. Oh no, she's not. Oh, I thought she was going to take more. It's like, yeah, don't take anything else. We don't need that. This poor guy suffered enough. All right. Well, I think it's fair to say that she's done all she's going to do, and now we should be legitimately able to delete her, just like a spawning horse or paparazzi or anything else. So she did her damage. I didn't cheat because I let her cheat. I let her steal from us, so she's out of here. But yeah, gotta love it. Okay, buddy, I need you to go ahead and finish this sleeping because, as you can see, you will get completely confused on day and nighttime. You will have no clue when you're actually supposed to be asleep or not. Right now it's still 6 o'clock in the morning. So once he gets up, of course he is absolutely starving. He hasn't had to go to the bathroom yet, but he really does need to. So once he does that, I'm going to go ahead and let him go ahead and use the bathroom, jump in the shower, and then he's going to be ready for yet another day. And let's see what his moodlet is. Oh yeah, he's getting warm, and that's not good. Okay, we got our mail, so I want to see how much our bills are. They probably aren't going to be a whole lot. Why am I getting lag? Probably trying to figure out what to do with that mailman that just showed up. So, no telling. No telling. Hang on just a second. He should be getting up. Alright, let's see. Our bills are $19. Okay, well, I would say that's no big deal, but the fact of the matter is, when you only have $225, that's going to hurt. It really is. So, yeah, he'll pay the bills so we don't have anybody else coming to take stuff. Now, I want you to notice, we don't have a chair. So, he's going to have only a couple of places to eat. Yeah, you have no chair, do you? You're going to go set that down? He can actually stand up and eat, or he can go sit on the toilet. So at least he does have options. But yeah, I think that's pretty funny. So I will get him another chair, but I'm going to wait and sell a few things before we do that. I am going to have him go ahead and pay the bills, though, because I don't want a repo man coming out here and taking what little we've got, because trust me, it is little. Yeah, well, there's my time. And I love playing this challenge. I hope it's going to be enjoyable for you guys. I know right now you're just kind of watching this poor guy do nothing but fish and eat. But really, that's all you can do at this point. You've got to actually struggle, and it takes a while, but you will be able to do more. Can you not get to it? Come on, you should be able to get to that. Oh, come on. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of his cereal bowl, because otherwise I'll forget. I don't know what he was trying to do. Now, he is hot, and I'm wondering if this shower will actually cool him down. It may not, but I don't know. Anyway, well, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this first episode, and I hope you'll stick with me. It's going to be fun. It's going to be different from the other one that Sweet Nightingale is doing, and I hope that you guys will just enjoy what we're doing and kind of see the differences in both. Oh, wait, what is this? Sweating profusely. Okay, we got to get in the water. All right, go ahead and let's go swimming. I cannot let the guy die on the first episode. I really can't. Okay, actually, he's just getting burnt. So he's probably going to get a sunburn from this, which is kind of what I figured he would do. But we'll get him in the water and see if that kind of helps cool him down. Probably won't. You can't swim through a boat, buddy. You can try. Oh, yeah, I guess you can go through a boat. You know, you are pretty amazing. So I learned something today that I didn't know. You can walk through boats. All right, you go ahead and swim, and I hope that it will allow him to cool down a little bit. Otherwise, we're going to suffer. We're going to be in trouble because it's only 10:30 in the morning. So anyway, I'm going to let him swim for a little bit. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And again, please leave comments. If you like the video, please press like. Please subscribe if you want to see more. If you want to see other episodes of different series that I'm doing, check them out. I love to get the comments and get feedback on what you think I should be doing or what you like that I'm doing. And yeah, it's kind of fun. Anyway, I appreciate each and every one of you for watching and joining me along with for this LP. And check out the main page of my YouTube channel. You'll see my upload schedule, so you'll know when to expect new episodes of each and every one of my series. And if you're new to the channel, you'll find I update constantly, a lot. So you can pretty much depend on those dates being accurate. So thanks again, guys, and I will see you in the next episode.